I don't know how this works, but what she selects on who to really believe. And so, like, when our son tells her things, she's like, that's it. That's the truth. That one said it. It's true. I'm barely in there. There we go. All right.
Good morning, YouTube. It's Shalene and Joy, Hawk Family Journey. And this morning we're coming to you with our at breakfast talk. This morning's talk is about explaining the birds and the bees to your teenagers when you're in a
not just teenagers, any age, because they're gonna ask you about it before they're teenagers. They're gonna ask like really when about 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, about 8 years old, 8 or 9 is where they start getting like. So, like the teacher explained to me that it's supposed between a sperm and an egg, and that's when they start getting it in schools and whatnot at about 4th grade.
So we've had to talk with our kids several times over the years. Before Joy and I got together, and since Joy and I have been together, I make sure that they understood about the birds and the bees, because I really didn't want anybody else to tell them about it. I think the first time that I spoke to them about it was, like Joy said, around 7 or 8 for mine, because I have 2. So if you explain to one, you got to explain to the other, because my kids talk to each other about stuff like that. And
because our daughter told her brother about her cycle coming before she even told us.
Yeah, so she ran to her brother first because she feels comfortable talking to him about stuff like that, even though it grossed him out. And he told her to go tell mama, because I don't know what to say. So I talked to them, and I wanted them to understand at the time why their dad wasn't around, and it ended up going into the conversation of the birds and the bees. I don't know how. You get kids ask you questions about things, and they catch you off guard. So you just have to be prepared for anything that come out their mouth.
Yeah.
Especially ours.
Yeah, they'll hop me off guard. Like, you have to be okay with who you were, past, present, and whatever's to come, because I haven't always just been with women.
Mm-hmm. Same here.
So, my son, so have you ever been with a man? They haven't gone in depth type questions, but I know the day will come that they ask me more questions about, before I was with a woman.
And so with that conversation, then it was minor details of how everything is.
I'm barely in. There we go.
I tried to stay more along with mommy and daddy just didn't work out kind of thing then. And then as they got older and then school started giving them classes on it, my daughter is the type of person that you have to be very direct with. You can't expect for her to understand what you're saying if you're not explaining it detail by detail.
And like certain people, I don't know how this works, but what she selects on who to really believe. And so, like, when our son tells her things, she's like, that's it. That's the truth. That Juan said it. It's true. You know, and then she'll watch things like on a, what is it, 1,000 Ways to Die?
Yeah, we used to watch 1,000 Ways to Die.
The child saw an episode where somebody sat down for too long and they died. So the child was standing up forever. And it was like annoying.
Like 2 weeks, she just would not sit down.
No, she was scared to sit down. So it's like you have to be careful with what you say. And then going back to the conversation we had a few Sundays ago, when we talked about the Sunday lessons, when somebody told her that homosexuality was wrong, and then in her mind she made it like a decision then that that's what she was gonna believe. So it took her a while to come around to being okay with us. So she was like, "No, I see y'all love each other." So, you know.
Mm-hmm. So then came a time Joy was deployed, and we were going to a church back in Georgia, and I don't know what subject they were talking about, but they were talking about sex. I don't know how it got into that, but they were talking about sex
at the church.
At the church, and
I look bad. Forgive me, I just woke up.
And so it built curiosity in her head. And I end up catching her watching a video. It wasn't like porn or anything. It was mostly just people kissing. And I was like, well, cause she was like, when I came out the room, she jumped. And it made me feel like she was doing something she had no business doing. So I was like, what are you doing? And so when we talked about it, she was like, oh, I just wanted to know because this is what they were talking about. I said, look, you cannot go by that. And I didn't appreciate them having that conversation with my kids without talking to them. My son has a mind of his own. He's not going to listen to other people. He would have to literally go through it.
Wait. He has selective listening.
That's true.
It's really bad because once you clean this, you can go outside. All he hears is you can go outside. So he's going outside.
So then I had to sit down and tell her that you have to love somebody. It's important that you love somebody before you give yourself up. Because of how I was, I didn't want her to follow in my footsteps. Because I thank God for my kids. They slowed me down. I'm not gonna lie. They slowed me down.
Sugar britches. Fast tape.
From a path that I was going. And then I said, and then they're talking to you about sex and they're not telling you the consequences of having a baby is not just the consequences of having sex. You have sexually transmitted diseases out there, and some you can clear up and some you can't. And so I had to tell her about that because, like I said, she had already been in school. She knows the anatomy and all of that. She got all of that. It was, they made sex seem okay, even at her age. And at that time, she was 13 or 14. Mm-hmm. And they made it seem okay. And I was like, no, it's okay when you're ready. Don't ever let anybody force you into having sex, and don't ever put yourself in a situation where harm can come to you. With my son, telling him, it's just really hard because he laughs about it and he thinks it's really funny because he doesn't know how to express himself when it comes to talking about it.
In his defense, he has two reactions to everything. He either cries or he laughs. I think it's an uncontrollable thing because I'm like the same way. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know what it is, but we're like a lot alike on those issues. Like, I can't express if something's bothering me and be mad. Either I'm gonna be like mad, even when I'm upset.
So talking to him about it is way out there. Like, you have to come from something that's going on TV that he's watching. You have to start with that and then jump into the conversation, and then he's like, oh, that's just nasty, Ooh, that's so nasty. I hope he stay that way and I ain't got to worry about nothing. Because when he was younger, he used to say he wanted to have a lot of kids at a young age. And
about 20.
He wanted to have 5 kids by the time he was 20 years old. I was like, no, sir. So now that he's learning.
Have you ever noticed that on the last clip it was just me eating and not this one? So I'm looking fat and she's not.
So you're saying you're looking fat again?
Yeah, look at me, I'm looking fat.
So he is now getting to an understanding of how important it is as far as safe sex, as far as who he chooses. Because I told him, you can make a decision to sleep with someone and that can be something that could change your life forever. And that could be a person that you just really don't like, or somebody that you love dearly and they just don't feel that same way about you, but you stuck with them. So you have to take that into consideration. If you choose to have sex, make sure you wrap it up. I mean, that's all we can ask of our kids. I'm all about being honest and straightforward with my kids so that they don't be out there trying to find out on their own.
What do you think about telling them to wear a condom?
What do I think about it?
Yes. From your personal experience, thinking what you thought about condoms.
I mean, I use condoms.
2 children upstairs.
I'm saying I didn't use them then because I was in a serious relationship that I thought was gonna.
So what's gonna stop our children from? What's gonna make them wear a condom?
I mean, now all we can do is educate them on it, and when they get to that age and they're ready to have sex, make sure they go out prepared. I mean, that's all we can do. That's all we can do.
I scared a boy.
I most
special guest.
So we had to take an intermission because somebody woke up. Say, hey, Aubrey. Hey. We plan on being just as honest with Aubrey when she gets older and starts asking questions. But as you know, little kids ask the weirdest questions at the weirdest time. And I used to just tell my kids, I don't know, I wasn't there. And just leave it at that, because if you don't know, you just don't know. You can't make up an excuse of why. No, that one would ask questions like, say we were in the store and he'll probably say, oh, well, how do they get it in the, get their product in the can or whatever. I don't know. I'm not going to go through a whole process of something I really don't know about. I honestly do not know. Maybe when we get home, we'll look it up. So, that's how I was with them when they were coming up. And
Aubrey, your hair is so big.
Same way with Aubrey, we're going to be that. When it comes to how did I get here, we're going to show her our videos. That's the whole point of us taking this journey and recording it and posting it up on YouTube so that we can show her what we went through to make sure she was here.
To help others.
And to help others.
Because there's other people that are going out there and trying things and they're struggling. And, it's not easy.
And they're feeling alone, and you have to know that you're not alone when it comes to that. But that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, it's not easy when you have children. It's not easy being a straight couple because my parents are straight. So I've seen their struggles. There's been times when we didn't have things, but I mean, we were blessed with a lot of things, but it's always going to be a struggle. I don't want people to feel like, oh, well, maybe if I was straight, I wouldn't go through this. You will. You're going to have trials and tribulations. All right.
So, yeah, that's how we had the conversation with our kids, and we continuously talk with them about it because they're getting older and their mind is going to wander, and they're starting high school next year. So we have got to be on our toes and ready for whatever.
Both brains are starting to wander. So. You have to put a lock on the other one, you know.
Yeah, when you have boys and they become teenagers, so yeah,
you knock for 5 minutes before you hear yes, come in.
If you have kids and you're a part of the LGBT community, let us know how you explain to your teenagers or your young kids about how they got here, or how you explain the birds and the bees to them and how they responded. Because our kids, you'd be shocked how blunt they can be. And you just have to always be prepared. So yeah, let us know in the comments below how you dealt with your kids when it came up to you about the birds and the bees, or how they got here. And yeah, that's all. But we'll see you guys in the next video at breakfast. Thanks for watching.
Hit the button.